Imagine waking up every morning with nothing but the sound of your stomach growling. You live in a world where the law doesn't protect you, and the only people who have respect are the ones in the armored SUVs with gold chains. You've been watching them from the shadows your whole life. You see the cars, the power, and the way people move out of their way. You want that life. But in this world, nobody gives you a seat at the table. You have to earn it with blood, silence, and time. This is the invisible ladder. This is how you go from being a ghost on the corner to a god of the underworld, and the terrible price you pay for every step up. Rank 1. You were a street kid, the hangaround. At this level, you were essentially invisible. You were a local kid who grew up watching the cool guys in the neighborhood. You see the jewelry and the respect they command, and you decide you want in. But right now, you are nothing. To the made men or the senior cartel members, you are just free labor. Your life consists of fetching coffee, washing Cadillacs, or running to the deli to get sandwiches for the card games happening in the back rooms. You aren't in the organization, you are a gopher, as in you go for coffee and go for cigarettes. This is a test of your discipline. The bosses are watching you every second. They want to see if you can keep your mouth shut and if you can follow orders without complaining. You aren't making any money yet. In fact, you are taking all the risk for none of the reward. If the police raid the club or the corner where you are hanging out, you are the one they throw in the car while the real bosses walk out the back door. You prove your worth by being useful, like spotting a cop car 2 blocks away and warning the crew before they get caught. Rank 2. You became a lookout. You passed the first test. You didn't talk, and you were always there when needed. Now, you are an associate. You are not a member of the family yet, but you are working with them. Your primary job is to be the eyes and ears of the street. You live a life of constant fear and alertness. You stand on the corners or sit in parked cars, learning the rhythms of the neighborhood. You learn to recognize the unmarked police cars and the faces of undercover detectives. You use whistles, burner phones, or hand signals to communicate. Your job is to protect the business from the law and from rival gangs. You are still disposable. If you get pinched or arrested, the family owes you nothing. You are expected to do your time and keep your mouth shut. This is the only way to prove you are worthy of the next level. If you crack under pressure or rat to the police, your journey ends here, usually in a very permanent way. Rank 3. You became a runner. Now you're moving. You aren't just watching anymore. You are carrying messages and moving packages. You are a senior associate now. You've probably done a small stint in prison and proven you could handle it without talking. Because you are on record with a captain, you now belong to him. This means other crews cannot touch you or shake you down. If they try, your captain will step in and protect you. This is the most dangerous time of your career because the bosses are vetting you. They are looking into your bloodline and your past to see if you have any rats in your family or if you have a history of making mistakes. One wrong move, like getting into a stupid bar fight and embarrassing the organization, will end your career instantly. Rank 4. You became a small hustler. You've started earning real money, but you've also learned the heavy cost of the business. You might be hijacking trucks or running your own sports betting book. However, the money isn't yours to keep. You have to kick up every single week. If you make $15,000, you are expected to hand over a fat envelope of at least $7,000 to the soldier who brought you in. If you try to hide money or hold out on the family, you are seen as stealing from the organization, which is a death sentence. You are learning to navigate a world of lies and shifting trust. The FBI is likely watching you now because you are sloppy and hungry for more power. You are doing the dirty work, the hijacking and the physical intimidation, while the bosses stay clean. You are the one with the target on your back. Rank 5. You became an enforcer. You've crossed a line you can't uncross. You are now a made man or a soldier. You went into a back room, pricked your finger, and swore an oath of blood and silence. You are now untouchable to civilians and lower-level criminals. But your specific role is that of the enforcer. While some guys are good at making money, you are good at violence. You are the terror mechanism that keeps the money flowing. When a debt is not paid, they send you to collect. You become a specialist in disposal, knowing which construction sites have pouring concrete or which chemical plants have acid vats to make a body disappear. This is a lonely spot. Everyone is afraid of you, even the people in your own crew. The bosses need you, but they don't necessarily like being around you because you remind them of the darkest parts of their business. You lose sleep at first, but eventually, you go numb. Rank 6. You became a crew leader, acting capo. You've moved from the street to management. Perhaps your captain got indicted, had a heart attack, under too much police surveillance to lead. He points to you and says, "You're in charge." You are now the acting capo. You are like a substitute teacher with life and death power. You run the crew, manage the soldiers, and ensure the money keeps flowing upward. You have to keep the envelopes full for the captain while he is away. You are walking a razor's edge. If you do a bad job, the money stops and the boss gets angry. But if you do too good a job, the captain might get jealous and think you are trying to steal his position. You have to look like the boss without looking like you want to be the boss. Rank 7. You became a local boss, the capo. The acting title is gone. You are now the capo. You are a mid-level executive who controls a specific territory or sector of the city. You don't touch guns or drugs anymore. You manage people. Your primary job is to be a buffer for the boss. You meet with your soldiers in safe places, parks, malls, or walk-and-talks to collect their envelopes and give them orders. You are also the judge. When two soldiers have a fight over money or territory, they come to you to settle it. Your word is law. The pressure is immense. You have a quota. You must deliver a fat package of cash to the top boss every week, regardless of the economy or police interference. If you stop earning, you are replaced. In this business, replaced usually means executed. Rank 8. You became a cartel lieutenant, the VP of operations. While the boss is the CEO who sets the vision, you are the COO who makes it happen. You handle the day-to-day chaos of the entire organization. All the captains report to you, and you collect the master envelopes from every crew. You are the layer of insulation that keeps the boss out of jail. If the FBI builds a case, they usually hit you first to protect the person at the very top. You are also the heir apparent. If the boss dies or goes to prison, the crown is yours. Being the heir apparent makes you the #1 target for every ambitious captain who thinks he can do a better job. You must be strong enough to run the family, but submissive enough not to scare the boss or make him think you are planning a coup. Rank 9. You became the cartel boss, the capo di familia. You have reached the summit. You are the father, the ghost at the head of the table. You never touch a gun, and you never touch a dollar from a racket. There are layers of people between you and any actual crime. You whisper an order to your underboss, and 3 days later, a rival disappears. You sit on the commission, the board of directors for organized crime. You meet with other bosses to divide up the country and decide who can be made and who must die. You have total power over thousands of lives. You have total power, but zero peace. Your best friend is likely waiting for a chance to take your job, and the government has an entire squad of agents dedicated solely to destroying you. There is no retirement plan. You stay on the throne until the end. Rank 10. You became a legend, or a warning. This is the final rank, and it only has 2 paths. There is no walking away from this life. The legend.
Your name is whispered in the streets for generations. You died with your boots on, or you took your secrets to the grave in a high-security prison. People tell stories of your power, but they forget the trail of bodies you left behind. The warning is the more common end. You die on the pavement outside a restaurant or in a cold prison cell, betrayed by the very people you called family. You become the story parents tell their children to keep them off the streets. Your life becomes a lesson in why the jewelry, the cars, and the respect were never worth the price of your soul.